So our next guest on the show is an Irish-Canadian guy, Damian Brennan. Damian, thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Thanks, Mick.
How are you doing?
Doing grand.
Happy Easter to you.
It is a lovely, lovely sunny Easter over here in Canada, Vancouver.
As here.
Yeah.
So you've a new album out, Shamrock Shore. You've a lot to tell us about it, but you've also a lot to tell us about your past too. You are originally from Ireland. Tell us where you hail from and everything.
Well, I was born and raised in Belfast, and I moved out of there in '76 when the Troubles were really bad, down to Bray. So I went to school at Pres Bray, and
Pres.
Yeah, the rugby school, and educated there, and got in. I brought the traditional music with me, like I was really into the chieftains. I learned the tin whistle first, then the baron, then I got into guitar, and then I got sidetracked with rock and roll and the Beatles and everything. So I did the show band thing over there in Dublin, and then
excellent.
Then I ended up
any famous names you can name drop.
I met Van Morrison a few times. I'm a huge fan of his. He's a good friend of my brother's, who's also a musician in California. And I met him through, he opened up for Van a couple of times, so I got to meet him. And this is going way back in like the 80s. So, and yeah, I want to meet Paul McCartney, but I haven't, he won't answer my texts, so
I hate when that happens.
So, yeah.
So,
go ahead.
So you started you cut your teeth in Dublin, plying your trade.
Yep.
And what kind of audience did you have back then?
Well, like I said, I did all the cabaret stuff in the pubs, but then we got quite successful with a little band called Sold Out, and we did soul music. And this was just before that movie came out, The Commitments. So we were very, very similar to them. Like, we didn't have the girls in the band. There was just four guys, sax, drums, and guitar and bass. And then we started up playing around Greystones and Bray, and we did the Stables and Greystones. And then we got into the Bag It In. We did that for a while until my immigration.
You made it when the Bag It In comes calling.
Yeah, we thought so. We thought it was great. Yeah. So then immigration finally got a hold of me and said, "You better come now or never." So much to the disgust of the rest of the band, I chose to come to Canada.
And what were you coming over to Canada to do? Did you have something lined up?
Well, there's 10 in our family, and a lot of the brothers were over here already, and they were like, one brother's in construction, so he said, "I'll give you a job," and basically had a wife and baby then, and got on a plane and came out. We thought we better just now or never. Yeah, and my dad says, I'll see you in 6 months. So 30 years later. So it was just the excitement. You know what, Ireland then, there wasn't a lot of work then, and you know, and this Canada thing was just eating at me. I just wanted to go and try it out, and it worked out great.
Yeah.
So
and you brought your music with you.
Brought the music with me. I started out in an Irish pub, playing every Sunday. So I had a day job, and I worked with my brother, and then I worked in an Irish bar, O'Hare's Pub, owned by an Irish guy, and that was started gigging almost right away, and I've been gigging every weekend since, I think.
And did you find the audience different from Ireland to how did they respond to your way? I suppose you brought the real Irish.
Well, actually, like I said, I played the tin whistle. No one they'd never seen that before in their lives. Were shocked. What is that thing you're playing? Is it a piccolo?
Really?
Or things like that. And, and they pull out the bar and they're like, well, "Who are you?" But the North American idea of Irish music is different than what I'm the purist. Like I said, I'm into the chieftains and you know, all the trad stuff. But their idea of trad music is like the Black Velvet Band and all those pub songs. I'm happy to do them if it makes people happy, right? They love those, so I do all that, and they throw in, you know, like Christy Moore and stuff like that. I just tried everything I can get away with, but I ended up having to speed everything up. I noticed that people here want it faster. And it's not really like anyone from Ireland probably string me up if they heard me do the songs the way I did them here, you know.
Yeah.
But you know, uh, if I was gigging today, for example, but obviously there's no gigs right now,
Mm.
I would be doing the Foggy Do and things like that, and
Mm.
Easter stuff, Easter commemoration stuff,
Yeah.
and even then, you just nobody. It's not the same audience, in other words, but they're appreciative,
Mm.
but they just have a different view of how it's supposed to sound, and not to say
Okay.
that they don't. Like I've had gigs with a fiddle player, and we've done like fiddle tunes and Drowsy Maggie and stuff like that, and a lot of
Mm.
again chieftain stuff, and they like it. You can see their toes tapping. They don't know what it is, but they like it.
Yeah. It sounds good and it feels good to them.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
exactly. Yeah,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
yeah. So,
Excellent.
yeah.
And so, when did you start recording, Damien?
I got into recording about. Well, I used to get other people. The album I did, Dear Irish Boy,
Yes.
was I paid good money for that and went to a studio. But then with the price of equipment now is a lot cheaper. You can record at
Mm.
home. So
Exactly.
I discovered this amazing software called Logic Pro, and
Mm.
it's recording standard industry standard recording stuff. So started getting into that, and it's gone awful cheap now. It's like
Yeah.
there was a time you could not afford it,
Mm.
and then it went down in price. I'm, oh my god, so I got to try this. So
Yeah.
I started just trial and error, just doing simple recordings at home, and then I got better at it and got better at mixing. So
Yeah.
I built myself a home studio, and that's when it really started to take off. And thank God for YouTube, because I didn't go to engineering school or anything like that, and I
Mm.
wish I knew, like I wish I was properly trained at it. So I just basically trial and error and YouTube how to do this and how,
Mm.
and this software, like it does so much that I don't even know what it does. I just
Mm.
make it do what I needed to do for me. For
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
for like Shamrock Shore, I did all the instruments on it. I played piano, guitar, tin whistle, bar, and then I sang, and I learned how to do that as a project. So I
Brilliant.
just learned from
Well,
doing it, I
fair
guess.
play. Fair play to you.
Yeah, it's fun too. I enjoy it, so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes it easier.
And the first album, how was that accepted? How was it received?
The first album was good because it was at the time, it was not long after Riverdance, and Riverdance put Ireland on the map in
Mm.
all over the world.
Yeah.
After
Yeah.
Riverdance, they couldn't get enough of it. They
Yeah.
loved Irish music, and then all these Irish pubs, they started springing up all over the place. They're like
Yeah.
McDonald's; they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Um, and the, Riverdance really, in the Michael Flatley days, just everyone wanted to hear Irish music, and
Mm.
and then I started playing in all the Irish bars around Vancouver. I think I played all of them, and it was a great time. And gradually, that frenzy wore off, but they're still popular
Yeah.
here. Irish pubs, you can open one anywhere in the
Yeah.
middle of the desert and probably do well. But
Yeah.
Riverdance really put us on the map, and it was watching it, it just makes you so proud. Like especially when you're away
It
from
does.
home,
Yeah.
it does.
Well,
Since
I I do remember seeing the first one when it was in Cork on the
yeah,
Eurovision, and when I seen that, it is goosebumps and hair
yep,
raising. It's just, yeah. So I,
yeah,
I I can see why everybody wants a taste of that, and
yeah,
then for it to spread across the world like it did, brilliant. And then to help other musicians like you,
yeah.
then to grow with that, it was perfect timing, I suppose.
It was perfect timing, and I know they modernized the Irish dancing quite a bit, um,
Mm.
to make it more friendly, like world friendlier. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They did certain of the. I didn't take Irish dancing in school. I should have, but
Mm.
I know that the traditional Irish dance is a lot different from Riverdance. Riverdance is they've added a bit of flair to it, a bit more
Yeah.
flair to make it
Yeah.
more popular.
Mm.
But it works great, and it's
Mm.
still the traditional dance, but in a more
Yeah. Well,
modern form.
uh, I play in a cover band, and I play weddings when we can. We play
Yeah,
weddings, and I would say out of the year you would have 3 or 4 weddings that will have a river dance theme
yeah,
to it, that people to get up and they do a bit of Irish dancing with a selected couple. So it's still huge, and it is a big thing. So yeah, a big influence on the world, I suppose.
absolutely. Like
Mm.
it's like put us on the map, and it's good, rightly
Mm.
so, because a lot of people didn't know before Riverdance, and unless you're into that kind of music, you
Yeah.
wouldn't pay any attention to it.
Yeah, yeah.
So it really opened up a lot of doors for a lot of people, and all these little Irish bands start springing up in my locality in Vancouver,
And was
and they're
that
all great.
was that a good thing, Damien, for you, or was it kind of, oh, you're in on my patch, or you're,
No, no, it was a
it
great
was fun,
thing. I
it was
think
good.
I'm a big no, I'm a big believer, and there's competition's great and variety is
Yeah,
great, and it just spreads the word more. I think it's good.
yeah,
I personally could not play the same gigs all the time. I'd get bored. I liked variety. I liked going off doing like I could have played every week at the same places, and I did that actually, and I found it. People get sick of you, and I get sick of myself too. I just
well,
get tired
that's
of
it.
doing it.
Yeah, yeah,
So I
yeah,
like to do like a 1 month here, like one gig once a month, another one here, and just all. I did many little ones all over, and then like I did weddings too, and
mm,
private events, and that mixes it up quite a bit because you
mm.
don't want to over saturate yourself everywhere. People will get tired
Yes,
of you,
yeah,
and like it just gets monotonous. It becomes
yeah,
like a job then, and I don't want to be like a job. I love the music. I love performing
mm.
live, and we have kind of a funny act as well. We kind of interact with the audience quite a
Oh,
bit too.
brilliant.
Yeah, so we get that Irish humor out there, and
Mm.
Canadians are very reserved. They're lovely people, but I have to train them to get my humor.
Yeah.
They don't have the crack, in other words.
Yeah, that well, that's the word, isn't it? The crack. That's it,
Crack.
exactly. Yeah,
Do
yeah,
they
yeah.
still say
It
that
means
word?
they do. Oh yeah, a lot of the time in here, it's if you're not having the crack, you're just not having the fun, and
Right.
that's what
Yeah.
everyone needs to understand. We're not
Right.
saying anything different.
Yeah.
It can be interpreted a lot differently, can't it?
It can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, especially, crack's a different
Yeah.
thing.
So, Fallen was your first album. Am I correct?
That was a little single I released.
It's a little single. Sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, it was inspired by me mott. I don't know if you say that still too. Me mott,
Yeah,
my
we do. We
girlfriend.
do. Yeah, yeah,
Is
yeah.
that word still used?
It's still used. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not as much, but still, the older generation would use it
Hmm.
more so. But
I'm going
yeah,
to use it more now.
there you
Anyway,
go.
yeah. Um, she's sitting right over here too. Uh,
Oh, oh, careful.
um, yep. So anyway, yeah, it was just a little romantic song. Kind of wanted to write her a song, so I did. And then but I was working on the Shamrock Shore thing at the time too, but
Okay,
I have a day job as well which keeps getting in the way of my music, so
it's terrible, that isn't it?
yeah,
It's terrible.
so I work Monday to Friday. The good musician hours though at like 7 a.m. to 3 p.m, so you're off at 3,
I
do a gig
I like
afterwards
it.
if you have to,
I
but
like it.
in between I take my day job seriously too.
Hmm.
And so anyway, I was trying to get this album done in between working
Hmm.
and and yeah, life.
Life, exactly.
But
That's it.
actually, COVID happening gave me more time.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
It's a lot of musicians will say COVID was a curse and a godsend
Yeah,
because it really brought us back to basics and said, okay, you know, a global pandemic, what can we do? We can't do anything that we did before, but we could do a whole lot more, and we have.
yeah,
We've totally
yeah,
revolutionized the way of thinking for a musician, and it's been brilliant. We can see on social media what's going on, and you have the time to sit down and concentrate on what you probably wanted to do for a while.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah, it's opened the door because you have to think outside the box. So, okay, I'm out about 3 grand a month from no
Mm.
gigs.
Yeah.
So what do you do? So well, and people take up hobbies. People are taking up and using social media to think outside the
Mm.
box to do online parties and things like that. I
Mm-hmm.
got into more writing. To be honest with you, I was gigging so much. I was just tired. Like I'm a community support worker, so I work with special needs kids during the
Oh,
day. That's exhausting enough,
that is,
and
yeah,
then
yeah, yeah.
but very rewarding. But
Mm.
it's a day job, and then gigging 3-4 nights a week and driving into Vancouver. I lived outside, so about an hour and a half drive to Vancouver, and you're getting home at 2 in the morning, and you're just burnt
Yeah,
out. The last thing you want to do is play guitar or write songs. So
yeah.
when that all ended, my creative side started opening up. So and then I've got a bunch of unfinished songs that I'm working on right now to put together into a new album, all original. But the reason why Shamrock Shore happened is because there's so many Irish songs I wanted to record from growing
Mm.
up, and I wanted to dedicate do a CD for my little brand new granddaughter, and I wanted to have something to hand to her to
Congratulations.
keep, and send back home to everybody back home as well. So the COVID did actually, yeah, it wrecked a lot of things, but it also opened up
Yeah.
new avenues as well.
Okay. The new so Shamrock Shore, you've an original on that. That is
Yeah,
this the song you're talking about?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, excellent. Okay. What's it
And
called?
it's called After Clontarf. So I'm fascinated with Irish history and Brian Boru, and this is what it's about, Brian Boru. And it was originally, I just wanted to do some sort of soundtrack thing for a movie. I wanted to do something to send off to this. There's a place that wanted soundtrack for film, so I
Mm,
started out doing that. But I kept getting to this Viking thing and this Irish, that era of Irish history, so the 10th century,
mm.
and fascinated with Ireland's history. So I thought, no, it's my little dedication to Brian Boru. And then by sheer accident, my Mott, my girlfriend, she's a flight attendant, but she's down. She's not flying right now again due to COVID. So because of
Mm.
that, I was able to meet her, and turns out she's a great voiceover person. She has a great
Ah,
voice. Yeah, and so I got her to. I did my own voice on it, and I didn't like it. I didn't like my own
mm,
voice on this. So I asked her to try it out, and it sounds great.
mm.
So we put that together. It's a very short track. It's just a little extra.
Yeah.
Um, but it's just a little tribute to Brian Boru and the Battle of Clontarf.
Ah, brilliant.
Yeah,
Brilliant. So we've a few classics on the album, but an original to listen out for.
yeah,
You said you're working on a newer album as well.
yes.
Yes.
So yeah,
Have we anything to say about that, or is it still in the making?
still in the making. It's about 15 songs that aren't finished, and they're
Okay.
just. You know what? I have to figure out what genre it is yet, because it's definitely Irish folk.
Mm.
But like I said, I'm the youngest of 10, so I grew up with inheriting a bunch of Beatle albums. And
Ah, so there's.
my parents listened to Dean Martin and Perry Como,
Ah,
and then I had the trad stuff. Everything's in my head, so
so you've
there's a
you've a
bit.
mixed
Oh,
jumbled up mixture that you want to put
yeah,
down.
I might have to
Excellent.
do two separate ones with different genres, because a lot of it's like really McCartney sounding. Like, where the hell did
Okay.
that come from? And then
Yeah.
there's Christy. I'm a big Christy Moore fan, so there's a lot of it like that. So I might have to do two, or um, but I definitely want to keep the tin whistle in there and more bar on drum, and I might even bring a fiddle player in for it as well. So yeah, because it'll
Sounds
definitely
good.
be it'll be a folky one, but also like I said, I've listened to the Beatles. I'm a Beatle nut, so there's probably some McCartney influence in there as well.
Excellent. So, what stage of kind of COVID are you at in Canada? Will you be back out gigging ready soon, or no?
Um, well, what happened there recently was they kind of lifted the regulations a little bit,
Hmm.
but then it spiked again. So now we're back.
Same as us.
So
Same as us here. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Seems to be a pattern that
yeah,
just keeps going. So,
yeah. I got
oh well,
some musician friends still playing, but very, very limited. They're behind
yeah.
plexiglass screens, and they're
Okay.
being right now. You can only go on a patio in a bar, and only with your immediate family, and only
Hmm.
spread out. So, uh,
Okay.
and the musician has to be away over somewhere else. So it's kind of weird. But
Yeah.
there's only a few people I know are playing right now. So yeah,
Okay.
everyone's recording and doing what I'm doing, just getting their creative side out.
Well, I will imagine in about a year we're gonna have an influx of music. We're just gonna be amazed with everything that's going to come out in the next year. So
Yeah,
we'll look forward to that. At the minute, how can we get your album? We have a little link going across the bottom of the screen. Tell us.
yeah. That little link it's called Share Now, but you can go on iTunes or what's the other one, Spotify, and it's on Amazon. It's even on YouTube. So you type in Damian Brennan, Damian,
Yep.
and you can find it there quite easily. But just that little link just brings you directly to everything, where you can listen to it for free, like listen to a sample, or you can download it, stream it.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
I'm assuming everybody over there has the same as you, like Apple, iTunes, and all
Yeah,
that. Right?
iTunes, Spotify, Amazon Music. Yeah, so we should we should get it in the same
Oh
format
yeah,
as.
yeah. I got my nephew and Bray to test it out. I said, hey, click on this and see if it works. He said, yeah, it works. So
Brilliant, perfect,
yeah,
excellent.
and oh yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll have a lot more fans from Ireland after this interview once it goes out. So hopefully
Yeah.
so. Damian, thanks for talking to us today. I wish you the best of luck. Let us know about the newer album when it comes out. We'll definitely give you a plug and have you back on.
For sure. Thanks so much.
No problem. Great.
Hi to everybody in Ireland and Bray. If you remember me.
I'm sure they do. Damian. Thank you very much. We'll see you soon, all right?
All right, Mick. Cheers.
Thank you.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter. Bye-bye.